race car is off, coming to the green flag.
Yeah, speaking of start, here we go.
And this can be very exciting. These guys all crashed on the start last year.
Stock Car Racing's All-Star Night is underway with the green flag. Didn't take long to get 3 wide toward turn 1.
No, these guys don't have a lot of time, you know. They only got 67 laps here, so they got to get the job done in a hurry, and they don't mind just cutting each other off.
If they want to run that full 67 laps, they have to be calm, be patient, because 1 hour is the time limit on this race.
Four cars break away, led by Tim Steele.
And the first few laps of these races are always the most tense because the cars are bunched up, and you do have guys out here that are running faster than they probably ever run their whole life.
David Keith second, Mike Swaim Jr. And how about that 75 Stuart Kirby?
He's a cool little kid. He's from Bowling Green, Kentucky, and done a great job at Daytona, finished 5th.
Trouble, the 2 car slides up the racetrack. Kerry Earnhardt, and gets collected by Jerry Glanville.
Well, I don't think they're still trying to wreck all behind them.
That's Donnie Morlock that went around down on the apron.
The 48 car.
He will get away, but there's damage to Kerry Earnhardt and Jerry Glanville's cars, and we are under the first caution. There's Earnhardt.
Yeah, serious damage to the 2 car there, Earnhardt.
And there's Glanville.
And listen, guys, y'all remind me to stay in the booth, will you?
We'll try. I don't know what we're going to do with you the second half of the season.
I don't either, but the more I watch Glanville race, the more I know this is where I need to be.
Got together, I believe that was Josh Richardson.
And actually it wasn't.
91 car.
Coach had nothing to do with it.
No.
I'm just picking on him because he's that kind of guy.
As they slid down the racetrack, Donnie Morlock, he had nowhere to go, and he had to spin it out. Kerry Earnhardt and Josh Richardson just got together there going in the middle of turn 3 and 4.
It's hard to say if one came up or one came
down. Yeah, it looked like Kerry got in there underneath of him and pushed up into him.
Contact, carnage, and we're under caution. That's the 3 C's here at Charlotte.
NASCAR on FX is brought to you by RE/MAX. Outstanding agents, outstanding results.
Welcome back to FX coverage of the ARCA RE/MAX series from Lowe's Motor Speedway on Stock Car Racing's All-Star Night. A 4-car breakaway at the front of the field, and about mid-pack, Josh Richardson. Now there's another second-generation driver in that white car.
Yeah, that's the 2 and the 91 there. Looked like that they just kind of went for the same spot at the same time. A little early in the race to be arguing about a little real estate, but it cost them both dearly.
There are all those DEI uniforms from the Winston Cup Wars working on Kerry Earnhardt's car. Jerry Glanville has climbed from his number 81. Here's Matt.
Well, Jerry Glanville has climbed from his race car, and Coach, not the kind of tax write-off you wanted. What happened?
Well, I just went down into 3. Car was handling good, great. I saw Kerry spin. Kerry spin went up. I saw him hit the wall. I tried to get down underneath him. Slid right down in front of me. He couldn't hold it once he got up there. And unfortunately, it just, you know, you don't come here and spend a week to run a lap. Kind of a bad day.
How bad's the car?
Real bad. It's done.
Tough break for Glanville. He reminds me a bit, Darrell, of Marty Robbins, a fellow who has a whole nother occupation in another field, but comes here to the racetrack to have fun.
Yeah, he likes to drive the cars, and he's been doing that for quite a while now, and he just doesn't have a whole lot of luck. He did finish 10th last week in Kentucky, which is probably one of his best performances. So he can drive, but he seems to always find the trouble on the track more than he'd like to, I'm sure.
Green flag, and we're back to racing. At 5 laps, Tim Steele, David Keith, Mike Swaim Jr., and Stuart Kirby bring them back to the green flag.
You know, Frank Kimmel back there in that orange car coming off the corner right there, he has been dominant in this series this year. He's been the car to beat every week.
Smoker out of turn 2. The 39 car, J.R. Robbs.
I talked to him this morning. What an interesting little individual. 22 years old. Been racing since he was 10 years old. Go-karts, dirt modifieds. This is an Andy Petrie motor that was leased from Andy Petrie Motorsports.
How come all these guys are 20, 22 years old and they race go-karts? And man, I was still driving a tow truck when I was 22 years old.
Daryl, half those kids I talked to this morning in ARCA Garage, my first question, you sure you old enough to be driving out here?
That's what I think. Andy Kirby's that way. Or not Andy Kirby, but Stuart Kirby. He's that way. I mean, I saw him down at Bowling Green. I was at the Corvette plant. He came up to me and he said, I'm the guy that was driving that car at Daytona. I said, you got to be kidding.
No, he did a great job. Ed Barrier, number 19, that light blue car, working underneath Andy Belmont.
Got those left side tires, blow that white line. That's kind of like no man's land. Their old car shoots up the racetrack, but he makes the pass here off turn 2.
Yeah, if you can hit it just right, those left side tires really like that paint down there. They'll get sticking in that paint and really pull that car around the corner. Here comes that 46 car down on the inside.
This guy, he has dominated this series. He's the reigning champion of this series. He's won the last 3 races. We talked about hand-me-down Winston Cup cars. They bought this race car from Roush Racing. It's a car that Martin ran second at Phoenix the end of last year. But it's won 2 of his 3 races. But this guy, he has 5 top 5s out of 6 races.
And of course, it ran a Chevrolet all last year and in the past, but switched over to Ford this year and just really set sail with that thing.
Side by side there for third behind Tim Steele.
Oh, now trouble down turn 4. Big trouble. Bigger trouble.
8, 9 cars are in it.
And they're still coming.
All kinds of trouble.
And they're still piling in.
Oh,
wow.
Wow.
Well, you saw that big almost explosion of water. That's the soft walls that Humpy Wheeler has put at the inside of turn number 4. And they just got a workout from the number 8 car of Philip Kranifus.
Holy cow.
He is climbing out and okay. And you see the water-filled barrels there to the right.
Man, there's cars there. They're coming down pit road torn up. They're up there in the turns. Billy Venturini's car torn all to pieces.
The 48
like a wreck at Daytona.
Yeah, 48 of Donnie Morlock wasn't that lucky this time. The 21 is involved. That's Bauscher. There's Venturini going to the garage.
Yeah, he's just trying to get to the garage.
Now, the 8 car, Philip Kranifus, that's a car that's driven pretty regularly by Shauna Robinson, but this is Michael's son here racing this weekend.
Well,
gets gosh, I think that 7 and 8 car must have gotten together, and
7's Robbie Benton.
Here comes the rest. Look at that.
Here comes everybody.
The wreck, we think it's almost over with here. We see more cars.
Just keep piling in, and the hits just keep coming. Oh boy, here we go.
This is going to be big. See
this is getting worse every time I see it. Boy, that's a lot of torn up equipment right there. Just nowhere for these guys to go. They're coming in around that turn.
Yeah. Track's blocked right now.
160 miles an hour and just nowhere to go, and you can't stop. Wow.
Well, they have a show on FX called World's Worst Drivers. What happens when they crash? Here's what happens when the world's best drivers go at it.
Man.
We'll clean this up in a minute.